everybody, finally we have an interesting phone to unbox. Here I have the CMF Phone 1 that has finally launched after all the hype on the internet. You might have seen videos of people tearing this phone down and reassembling it. Rashmika Mandana also did the same thing. And after such a long time, I am so excited to unbox a phone. Actually, that too a budget phone. That's very interesting. For those of you who don't know, CMF is Nothing's sub-brand and they are basically going to be focusing on the budget segment. And this phone, as I said, has a lot of hype, a lot of interesting things going on. Let's get started right away. Alright, so we have this box which looks something like this. It doesn't come in a flat shape like the Nothing phones, but the font and everything is similar. So yeah, let's just unbox it. I am not sure about the pricing of this phone yet, but I am guessing it will launch for some 15,000 rupees after bank discounts for the 6 128GB variant. And for the price, if you look at the specs, it's quite an interesting phone. So I am quite excited to be doing this. Okay, right here, first of all, we have the phone itself. And alright, there you go. Here we have the CMF Phone 1 and I have it in the black color option, but this phone is available in a couple of cool color options as well. My favorite is the orange one, but you can get it in blue and there's this other green color as well, which looks really nice. So let's move on. In the box, obviously you don't have a charger, but you get a USB-C to C charging cable, and in this price range you don't get a USB Type-C to Type-C cable, so I'm happy about this. Then we have a booklet which nobody reads, so I'm just going to put it back. And then we have the SIM ejector tool, which looks something like this. I thought that we get the one with screwdriver on top, but apparently in the retail box you get this one. I think first of all we need to unscrew this one, but I'm not sure. How do I? Oh, it easily comes off. Oh, apparently it's just a screw. Okay, so the other ones I think I'll have to unscrew like this, so be patient. How do I take it off? I am not sure. Oh, it comes off from the top like this. Oh, okay, it's coming off. Okay, so you'll need to take off the SIM ejector tray first, otherwise it sort of gets stuck. And dual SIM. And then the final reveal. Ta-da! This is what the insides look like. Okay, this probably should be the battery. So apparently the whole purpose of taking off the back panel is that you can put a different back panel here. You can unscrew everything, you can change the back panel altogether, and there are different accessories that are available, and it's quite interesting. There's this one accessory where there's a stand and it holds the phone like this, which is quite interesting to me. You can put a lanyard somewhere around here, and all the extra things, by the way, are sold separately. Overall, this design is quite interesting. It is plastic build after all. It's a budget phone, but I will not complain because it actually looks very good. It looks quite different from the other options that we have in the market currently, and it's also quite sturdy. So just because I took off the back does not mean that it's flimsy. I was kind of expecting it to be a little flimsy, but it's quite nice. So I am actually tempted to do a little drop test. Let's see how the screws hold up, because that's really important. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Damn, everything is fine. The screws are fine and nothing has come out. Okay, I am impressed. And one more thing, you can change the back panel here, but I'm not sure if third-party options would be available. I think CMF sells them separately via their channel only, so that is something you need to know. Now, Nothing says this modular back is not just cosmetic, not just for changing the back panels, but it also helps for internal and external repairs. It makes it easier for repairability. So probably iFixit has a greater repairability score for this phone. I'm not sure, but it should be. But again, there are a couple of things that I am confused here. Now, since this phone has moving parts, its durability is a huge question mark in the longer run for me. Also, if you see here, there are a lot of edges here where dust could get accumulated in the long run. So cleaning this phone is in my opinion, going to be a huge struggle. And also this phone only has IP52 dust and water resistance, so I don't know, if you take off the back cover, I am not sure it is going to hold up very well against water. Now, Nothing says that they have adopted a couple of quality control measures. There is this fluid immersion test that they did, drop test, but again, because you can take off the entire back panel, I still have my doubts. Alright everybody, now let's talk about the performance side of things. And here on the CMF Phone 1, you get the Dimensity 7300, and needless to say, there has been a lot of talk around this. The number scheming in smartphone chipsets have become so confusing. I suggest you watch GAN Therapy's video. Rakesh sir has actually explained it very well. But in a general sense, the Dimensity 7300, which this phone has, is not actually an upgrade to the Dimensity 7200. And if you look at some of the benchmarks that I ran on the CMF Phone 1 as well as the Nothing Phone 2A, which has the Dimensity 7200 Pro, you will see that the Nothing Phone 2A has more power, especially in the GPU side. But then again, I have not had a chance to do a real-life gaming test right here, so I am going to play some games and be back.
Much later.
Alright everybody, so here on the screen you can see the gaming results, and surprisingly the CMF Phone 1 has very similar FPS like the Nothing Phone 2A. Another surprising thing is that in games like Genshin Impact, I was able to get a better FPS on the CMF Phone 1. Here you can see how the average FPS is 51, which is a lot better compared to 43 on the Nothing Phone 2A. So even though in theory the Dimensity 7300 looks a bit weaker, but in my gaming test I was able to get better FPS in some games as compared to the Dimensity 7200 here. You can see how the general everyday usage is good enough here. App loading time, multitasking between 5 to 6 apps is good enough. The vibration feedback here is not the best, but it's not buzzy, so again, I will not complain. I especially like the software experience on this phone. You get Android 14 out of the box with Nothing OS 2.6, and Nothing OS's experience is quite refreshing. It does not have bloatware, none at all. Even apps like Facebook or Netflix are not pre-installed here, so that is something I like very much. And Nothing has also promised 2 years of Android and 3 years of security updates here, which for a budget phone I think is good enough. And something that's really impressive here is that Nothing has given a liquid cooling system here. So according to Nothing, they have a heat pipe to draw the heat away from the chipset, and there are graphite sheets on the front and back of the device. And yes, even during my gaming test, I told you that this phone does not heat up that badly. Okay, so let's now talk about the display, and here you get a 6.7 inches AMOLED display. This is an 8-bit display. It's not a 10-bit or 12-bit that you usually get in this price range, but the display is good enough. I will not complain. It's a 120 Hz refresh rate screen, and here you also get HDR10 Plus certification, but sadly you don't get HDR support in apps like Netflix, so that's a little bit of a bummer there. Good thing is that you get a peak brightness levels of 2000 nits here, and even in typical conditions it can go up to 5 to 700 nits. So this display is quite bright as well, and even outdoors in harsh sunny conditions it should be bright enough. But you have to know that you only get a single speaker setup here, which is right here. I don't know if you can see, and let's play some music and test the speakers now. Full volume. Okay, so they're not the loudest, and I wouldn't say they're the most balanced for the price, but they're just okay, good enough. So for cameras, you get a dual camera setup at the back. You have a 50 megapixel primary lens. This is a Sony sensor. And then you have a pretty much useless portrait sensor. On the front, you have a 16 megapixel camera for selfies. Now, since I've just unboxed this phone, let's go outside, click some photos, and I'll tell you what the camera performance is like. Alright everybody, we've clicked a few pictures, and here they are. As you can see, it has a little bit of contrasty processing just like we see on other Nothing phones, but the details details and everything is good here. You can see in this image of this prop right here, everything is crisp. I like the exposure handling in this lamp as well. And we clicked a few pictures of our cat as well, and you can see how the details and everything, they're good enough. It's a little bit soft on the fur, but exposure and everything is good. I like this image. Oh, so cute. And then we also clicked some selfies and portraits, and you can see selfies again a little bit contrasty, a little bit processed, but the skin tone looks nice, so I won't complain. And then we have some portraits. It also has a 2x portrait mode, by the way. This is a 2x portrait side by side with a 1x portrait. Both have very similar processing. The 2x one, for me, it looks better because it has a good subject focus. Here, even in my image, you can see the contrast just popping up. But nice image. It's a little bit processed, but not bad at all. For a budget phone, I give it like 8.5 out of 10. As I said before, you can shoot at 4K 30 FPS and the videos are stable enough. I would say the details, exposure handling is good, and it does not have EIS, so we can expect a little bit of wobbles, but other than that, the videos look nice. Finally, let's talk about the battery here, and you get a standard 5000 mAh cell here, and for charging, as I already mentioned, you get 33 watt charging support with no charger inside the box. And according to Nothing, this phone can go from 0 to 50% in 20 minutes or so. I have not exactly tested this out, but I will do that and let you know all the details in my full review. Okay, so with this, we've come to the end of this video, and the CMF Phone 1 definitely is an interesting device, and its specs are also competitive enough. It has a few design quirks that make it unique, and I think it's a very fun device to use. I just hope that it does not outgrow us like what happened with Nothing phones, but definitely an interesting device. I will make a full review of this, and I will post it after around like 10 days or so. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel to watch that. Till then, I'm Pratima, and thank you so much for watching.